Welcome to our channel. Doctors Karen and Matilda here. This is our bi-weekly podcast, and each time we deal with a topic of importance to academic life. Among them, we share our experiences, some of the things we see, but our questions being asked online on studying, and generally the background work that we often ignore. We do the flashy things that will make work simpler, but we tend to ignore the background work or the foundational issues that negates our success in academic. So this week we'll address one of them. So the question on the board is, how do you usually write your paper? Do you go through a smooth process or do you practice hurry sickness? What is hurry sickness? You have this paper on and you have all sorts of things going on in your life, and then you decide or suddenly realize, shucks, this paper is due on Monday, which is 3 days away from Friday, when you realize that you haven't done anything on this paper and it's about 3,500 words. So you're racing to finish it because now you're in a mode of extreme panic. And we've all been there. I've been there, but over the years, as professionals, we have learned a few tips and strategies that we will share with you. But first, we'll set the stage. So you delay writing, and often this happens because we didn't put a schedule out. Because as a lecturer, I always had a schedule out for when papers are due, and I expect most of my papers to come in. As a student, I flip that and I would put in a visible place, maybe on a fridge door or on the side of the computer, when my assignments are due, the words and I have to write and the amount of background work I need to do a good paper or an excellent paper. So here we have a little diagram how hurry sickness mode works and the cycle. And if you understand the cycle and you see it's continuously occurring, then you're able to break it. I want to take a brief minute to explain where hurry sickness fits in the procrastination umbrella term. So procrastination has many uh, strains. Uh, so, but one thing is overriding. You delay task. You postpone starting the work. Then you end up in this time pressure or time crunch. There's a limited time to do a large amount of work. Hurry sickness now is where you enter a sense of panic and urgency and anxiety. So you take away energy from your work because you're in this panic mode. Enter the last minute writing phase. We mentioned a number of the others before, but one we didn't talk a little bit about is reduced quality. As a professional teaching at a university, I always know when a student hurried and wrote a paper. It's riddled with errors, unnecessary mistakes, and even they mix up subjects, and they're unable to connect the ideas. Why an agriculture paper is in a special education one, for example, and there's no connection. It's just hanging there. You know they wrote this in a hurry. We talk about procrastination, deadline pressure, and now we talk about stress. So you're anxious, you're panicking, urgency is setting. Oh, sorry about the background noise. A noisy bike just passed, and the pressure's on. How do you break the cycle? Some good tips. Start preparing your background work immediately. One of the things I used to do is right away develop a table with about 10 articles I plan to use for my first paper. And I would go through them and lay out what my thoughts on the paper and so on in a spreadsheet. It doesn't have to be long, it can be a few sentences or so on. And I found that helped me a lot. And of course, writing in short blocks, plan writing, uh, and then set your paper whatever reference style they want you to write in, if it's Harvard or APA or MLN, wherever LM, anyway, whatever style they want you to write in, you set it up. Uh, by so because you did that background work, even if you for some reason got very busy and is unable to finish the complete paper, you have enough to build on when it's crunch time. You can edit that paper and redraft it because the background work has been done. So you're almost ready to submit it. Here's an organized uh, slide on how you can do this. I talk about having your papers, you have your gaps, so you avoid this cognitive chaos. You're not overwhelmed. Uh, You have anchored yourself, so you have your concept locked down. So you don't have to do that heavyweight lifting in that 3 days. In that 3 days, you're really just drafting and fine tuning your paper. You have your thoughts laid out and written down or recorded and put in your master folder. And then you plan your time over the weekend to complete your paper. So you avoid the pitfalls of the hurry cycle, the hurry sickness cycle. I hope you find this clip helpful and you can avoid the hurry sickness cycle. Learn for our uh, errors and I wish you happy writing. Looking forward to see you in the next clip. Welcome to the conversation. Remember to like, comment, share, and subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you'll know when we drop another clip. Thanks for watching, and from the desk of Drs. Karen and Matilda, see you in the next clip. Bye.